Themba walks into a library and orders a hamburger. The librarian says to him, "But this is a library, say." Themba apologizes and whispers, "I'd like to have a hamburger, please." Good evening and welcome to Talk with Rams. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, and on all platforms, I just need to tell you, we are Talk with Rams. You don't have to go search for anything else. It has been a rather tricky weekend for me personally, I'll tell you. We laid to rest my dear friend Tubatsana Munareng. I mentioned him last week that he passed on. As you can imagine, it's so tough to do so under the lockdown. Speaking of which, of the lockdown, 4 people close to me tested positive for COVID-19 over this weekend. People that I know personally. Folks, this virus is real. You have to take care. You have to sanitize. You have to wash your hands. You have to wear your mask. You have to keep your social distancing. If you suspect you have it, get tested. COVID-19 is not a death sentence. But it will be if we do not act fast and we do not get our act together. You know, we just need to do the right things. You need to be tested if we suspect something. Take care of yourself. It's the best way you can take care of the next person. Take care of yourself first. Do the right things. This thing is real. Good news though, we now have a WhatsApp line. It is on the show's page as I speak to you. You can be able to see it there. You just click on it. You can send us a message or a voice note. The number is 067-271-8237. I repeat, 067-271-8237. That's our WhatsApp line. You use it for all WhatsApp communication. As I said, voice and text. If you're gonna take voice as though, may I request that you keep it to maximum 30 seconds. On WhatsApp. This means now we can interact, you and I, but most importantly, you and my guests. Speaking of which, it is Monday, which means it's time for the main man, the main guest. It's Motivation Monday with Dr. Thando Sibanda, author, global speaker, and personal development coach. And dare I say, resident personal development coach. Last week, we started on the journey to discover our developing or how to develop a positive momentum. But we just touched on the surface with definitions. Today, we get to the actual tools to get that positive momentum going. And Dr. T joins me. Good evening, Dr. T. Wonderful to have you.
Good evening, Rams. How are you doing, brother?
I am dark and lovely, my brother. Thank you for asking. How are you?
No, I'm well. I'm well. I've been waiting for the show. I'm very happy we're finally on it, man.
This is the one Monday that took longest to come, Dr. T. I've been dying for this Monday. So let's get straight into it and not lose a moment. Again, I want us to recap by way of definition. What is momentum, Dr. T?
Right. Momentum is that critical forward movement in life. You know, momentum has to do with creating that force that then pushes you forward in everything that you want to do. This is the force that enables us to accomplish things. It is the force that enables us to build things. It is the force that enables us to really get tangible results as we live out our lives. It's a very, very momentum is your friend. That's the point.
I like that. Momentum is your friend. But Dr. T, what are the main challenges that people face with momentum?
Right. I think that's a very good question, Rams. When we look at the concept of momentum, it's always good to put that in the context of a linear existential plane in terms of how someone lives out their life. And I perhaps want to, I'd love to just lay that foundation. Then we can go into the tools of it. I know last week we spoke about the different prime stages in people's lives and what they can expect there. Today, I want to get a little bit deeper into a tool that I designed called the Progressive Life Axis. You know, so that when we talk of momentum, you understand why you need momentum. You see, a lot of people don't think or don't feel that they need momentum. Their life is what it is, and they think that where they are, that's the end of their story. But I would like to speak to somebody today and say, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how negative the story has been or how slow your life has been. You don't sit in your setback. You don't settle in your setback. You get ready for a comeback. Get ready to develop some momentum, create some positive momentum, and totally rediscover yourself. You know, I think that is very important.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you call the progressive living axis? What is that?
The progressive living axis, it's a guideline for a purpose-driven lifespan, which covers the 4 life stages as versus our limitation of time. So the progressive life axis is a barometer in the progress or life of an individual. Let me see if I can take our viewers through it in just a few minutes, right? So the basis of it, it talks about 4 stages. If you are looking at it, there will be I don't know if this is the y-axis or the x-axis. Which one is the vertical one?
I think that's the y. The y is vertical and the x is
the
horizontal.
X is horizontal. Okay, yeah. Sharp. You know, it's I don't want to trend for the wrong reasons. That doesn't know.
I could have misled you, so I will trend. It's okay.
Okay, that's I know you can trend, man. Okay, so you've got the y-axis that has got your years 20, 40, 60, 80. Then you've got the x-axis or the horizontal axis, which has got the different life stages, right? I'm gonna go through them quickly. The first one, I call it the 0 to 20. 0 to 20 is what is called in the progressive life axis. It's called the struggle or the transition.
Dr. T, yes, let me interrupt you. Freddie, there is no sound. People are complaining they can't hear us. Yes, please. Sorry about that, Dr. T.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
But you can hear me, isn't it?
I can hear you. It's that we are feeding to the platform was quiet on the other side. Are we good now, Freddie? Okay, folks, I hope the sound is okay. Thank you, Lungi. Thank you, Sitwadi, for making us aware. I hope you can pick us up. Please let us know if you're picking us up so that we don't lose out. So, Dr. T, may I ask you that we perhaps go back quickly just to
let me
the progressive living axis, the definition again.
Right. The progressive living axis, right. This is it's a guideline for a purpose-driven and productive lifespan. You know, a lifespan that has some momentum on it, and it covers the 4 stages of life and our susceptibility to the limitation of time. So it's an ideal barometer of progress, right? Are we good sound-wise?
Everybody says they're happy. At least the guys on Facebook are happy. I haven't had any feedback from YouTube, but yeah.
No, that's fine. Let's progress then. So there are 4 stages where we find ourselves in terms of the horizontal axis, right? While the vertical axis looks at our years in terms of time, the horizontal axis looks at our progress. So the first one is what I call 0 to 20, which is the struggle phase. The struggle phase has a lot of transitions. You know, it has a lot of transitions, and between 0 to 20, the characteristics of this stage are a struggle for someone to figure themselves out. At this point, the individual is bogged down with transitioning from teenagehood to young adulthood. You know, there is lots of energy. Remember, but there is not too much life experience at this stage. very limited view, sometimes a lot of ego, and we are very cause driven. That's why when your university students start striking, and there's a lot of emotion in it, right? And so it's important to understand there is no resoluteness, but it's a stage where you are trying to figure yourself out. And the self-concept, the self-equation at this point is about the who and the what question of life. So we're asking, who am I? Who really am I? What do I? What am I going to study? What would I like to become? So those are the questions that 20 and under are asking themselves. It's really more of just trying to figure themselves out. So that's the 0 to 20, that's stage 1 in the progressive life axis. Then 20 to 40, I call it the discovery and equipping stage. So the discovery, it's a very important stage as the individual has to discover and who they are and capacitate themselves at this stage. So building on the struggle phase, this is where there is gift discovery, there is a career discovery, there is a certain clarity as well as a perfecting of one's life and work. It's divided into 2 decades. There's the first decade, 20 to 30, where you have to find yourself, right? Identify your gift mix, identify your area of passion, value and add value to whatever you find. They develop a value proposition, right? Again, this is the phase to plant new ideas. This is the phase to make your mistakes. There are no family responsibilities. One is still young, between 20 and 30 in that first, it's a season to start new endeavors, make your mistakes, take risks, but lay a foundation. Then 30 to 40, you are building a solid value proposition on the basis of the foundation that you laid. By 40, you need to have found yourself, perfected a skill or a particular area of focus. You know what your life is about. By the time you are approaching 40, you know yourself, you have confidence, and you understand who you are. The major decisions are made in this stage. Who are you going to marry? Who are you going to start a family with? Who do you want to spend your life with in that sense? And what are you going to do as your job or your passion or your area of work? You see, you are getting a lot of experience in terms of 30 to 40, but it's because you are getting burnt. Sometimes there is no mentor there. But by 40, you need to have some direction and some responsibility. Because 40 to 60 in the PLA is the stage of significance. So the value proposition that you have built in your 20 to 40 starts to bring significance because now the spotlight is upon your life. So the value you have built, people are now saying, look, Dr. T, can you come speak here? Can you come help us here? Can you come coach us here? So the value that I built between 20 to 40 is now creating a lot of significance, and the spotlight is starting to shine. So it's very important that 40 to 60, again, remember now you've got some stability in direction, family, relationships. You know what you want out of life. Success follows focus as you narrow your options for maximum impact. It's important. Remember, at this stage, you are wiser, right? This is your intellectual prime. Your mind is sharp. You are able to really speak to concepts. And your personal self-concept, your sense of self-knowledge is no longer guided by the what. It is now guided by the why. You find your direction by asking the why question. Why should I do this? Why should I invest? Why should I focus on this and not that? It's no longer the what. In your 20s, it's whatever comes, I run with it. You have energy, you have lots of energy. But in your 40s, you are asking the why question, which is very, very critical. And because you can ask the why, you can narrow down your focus. Now you understand it's not every battle that I should fight. It's not every cause that I should be at the forefront of. I only have so many bullets in my revolver. I can only shoot so many. I can't act like I have an infinite source of strength and power and focus. Now you are narrowing down, but because you are narrowing down, you are becoming more effective. So now it's a very, very critical point of life, this 40 to 60, because there's a lot of significance that comes into your life. So make sure that in your 20s, you are building for the significance that comes. It always comes, whether you're doing positive or negative. If you decide to be a criminal, you will be a significant criminal. That's the point.
So you could become significantly useless at that age.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But the point is that whatever value you've added in the 20 to 40, in the discovery and equipping, will bring significance in your 40 to 60. It's just one of those that turns on its own axis. Then you've got the 60 to 80 rams, which really is about legacy. It's about this is the stage where you are now passing the baton over to others. You are now a coach. You are a mentor. You know, you are applying more wisdom than energy. Remember, the older you get, your wisdom covers for the physical energy that you no longer have. So instead of running 20 races, you will run one race, but run it well, kind of thing. Now there are two critical things that I want us to understand. You know, the progressive life axis is progressive in the sense. Mm-hmm. But now you find that there are people who are 60 years old who are in legacy and are just finishing significance in terms of the stage, but they are in the struggle phase. Mm-hmm. So you can be 60, you are still in the struggle phase, you haven't figured yourself out, you don't know where your life is going, you wonder where your life went. And because that's that's your significance level, now you start being significant in struggle. You become the village champion, you know, you become the loudest guy who's not going anywhere, you know. So it's very critical to understand that the better you run the race, the more momentum, positive momentum you create on your axis run, you do better and you set up the next generation to run better. You can answer the questions for the next generation so that your children don't have to start at a struggle phase. That by the time they're 10, 15, they already know themselves and they are getting to discover themselves. By the time they're 25, 30, they're already becoming significant. By the time they're 40, they're already working on their legacy projects. See, all of that is dependent on how well you run and how well I run. Our race run, our axis run can be a blessing to the next generation, or it can be a curse to the next generation. So it's very important that we understand that. The battles we fight, you know, the coming generation doesn't need to fight them.
I'm worried. I'm getting mixed signals. People are saying the sound is good, but one person keeps on saying she can't hear Lunginene. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor to log off and log on again, because everybody else seems to be okay. So I tend to think that maybe your system is still stuck on the past. We need a bit of momentum so that we can get to the next level. But everybody can hear me. And I can even see latest comments like from Nozuko, Vicky saying significantly useless. I hope I don't trend for saying something like that. But I learned something today that you can be significantly useless. Dr. T, though, what are the challenges that come with not progressing?
The challenges that come with not progressing is that you see that, number one, the years keep progressing. The years are moving. You can't stop that. But your life progress is stunted. That is why I was saying you can become 60 and you can still be in the struggle phase. You don't know who you are. You can be 40 and still struggling to discover yourself and just saying, who am I and what's happening? And because the decades build on one another, it is critically important that we keep that forward momentum moving on. In fact, if you don't mind, for the last 10, 15 minutes, I'd love to share with our viewers some of the strategies for momentum and personal change.
That is why we're here.
All right.
Yes. But let me remind them, Dr. T, especially those that came in, that if, you know, I will be able to read your questions from time to time, but now we've got a WhatsApp line. It would be great to send us the WhatsApp, because then Freddie can pick them up and put them on the screen, the WhatsApp messages, but also you can send us voice notes on WhatsApp. 067-271-8237 is the number. It is on your screen. You can see it. Go ahead, Dr. T. Sorry about that.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, Rams, it is important, it is imperative, it is tantamount and paramount at the same time, right? That people understand that we need to create positive momentum in our own exit run. You know, a lot of us now look and say, well, I wanted to run at the Olympics, so I can't run, but maybe my grandchildren will run. And then we become a problem when now it's your son's turn to get married. You want to get in there and tell him what to do because you didn't do that in your own exit run.
Yes.
And now you want to live your life through your children and the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren. And you know, guess what? On your own exit run, on your life exit run it well so that you fully experience the stages, but you are moving progressively in tandem with the time as it moves on. So it's important that we create positive momentum, because right now a lot of us are in neutral gear. You know what happens in neutral? When you put your foot on the accelerator, the noise and the revs go high, but the movement is zero. You know, and then we come up with things like fake it till you make it. You know, we come up with things, you know, there is no movement, there is no momentum in that, you know. And the question is, are you progressing, or are you just repeating the same year over and over again while you are getting older?
Oh, Dr. T, that's deep.
Yes. No. I hope you don't mind if I speak it this deep, Rams.
Let's preach, Dr. T. Let's go for it.
Okay. All right. So here are some momentum tips. How then do you create positive momentum in your life? The first one I'm going to say is that mind shift is key. The problems of the day cannot be solved in the same mindset that created them. So the challenges that you experience right now in terms of moving forward, right? The problems of the day cannot be solved in the same mindset that created them. Yes. There must be a shift. Because the solutions of the day can only be effected if there is a shift from the mindset that created them. So it means that you need to be open to new ideas. You can't be stuck in saying, no, I'm a man and a man thinks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how I was raised, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got to be open to new ideas. You've got to be open to new possibilities. You've got to be open to the fact that you might not know the whole truth all by yourself. So there needs to be a mindset shift to saying, I am open to learning what else is out there in terms of how I can develop my life. That mindset shift is critical. It is very, very important. That's number one.
Yes.
Number two, you can't create positive momentum without spring cleaning your life. I call it becoming nimble. How do you become nimble? Because a lot of things wear us down. A guy who's getting ready to run a race, if you look at the Olympians and anyone who runs a race, they will wear the lightest t-shirt and they will wear the lightest shorts and they're actually running shoes. I've seen people running with the wrong shoes. You know, you just go buy sneakers and you start running in them. No, they are running shoes that have got spikes and they are so light. You know, so you've got to become nimble and get yourself into a position of building forward. And there are three questions. The first one is, what will you no longer accept in your life? If you are going to move forward, what will you no longer accept? Because that's more critical than what you will accept.
Yes.
What will you no longer accept? That's number one. Secondly, what will you no longer tolerate in your life? Because there are a lot of things that we tolerate that weigh us down.
Yes.
We tolerate a culture of excuses. We are very big at giving excuses. When there's something that needs to be done and done excellently, you are known as the guy with the stories. I'm known as the guy with the stories. You can't move forward, generate positive momentum for your life if there is room for stories and excuses as far as being excellent is concerned. What will you no longer accept? You can't eat anything if you want to get somewhere in life. See, some of us are gifted, right? We are gifted, we've got sharp minds, but some of our behavior challenges will put us at a disadvantage in terms of our body. Remember, the mind and the body, the mind can be sharp, but if the body is not healthy, we are putting ourselves at a big disadvantage in terms of achieving our full destiny. So what will you no longer accept in yourself? Because this is a personal development moment. What will you no longer tolerate? It's very critical. So it's time to spring clean our lives. Who do you allow around you, and what are they speaking into you? Because if you surround yourself with people who are not going anywhere, guess what? It kicks your gear back into neutral. Because misery loves company. And because misery loves company, excuses love misery, which then loves company. If you are not wise, you'll be part of the company of misery that is driven by excuses. This is the time to say, and I want to say this especially to my brothers, my black brothers and sisters. We need to have a culture of excellence where we don't just accept reading and not writing. You know, I walked into a library, a friend of mine has an amazing home that is the library, and not one book there, whether in terms of personal development or economics or what was written by a black person. I think it's important that the sharp among us take time to write books. Take time to document your knowledge so that over time, we become a reference point for things like leadership, personal development, economics, finance. Let's write things down. There are a lot of sharp black people, but they are not writing books. They're not writing textbooks. They're not writing anything.
We're watching TV, Dr. T.
Hello, sir.
We are watching television.
That's the problem. We are watching other people getting paid. That's the problem. If you're someone who sits and watches soapies, just know that you are a specialist at watching others getting paid.
So Dr. T, you telling me I need to know what I will no longer tolerate, what I will no longer accept, but what are the, do I need to take? Because I think, that's first, what I say to myself, but then I need to take steps, shouldn't I, Dr. T, to get to the next level?
The question becomes then, what are the first steps you are taking today towards the life of your dreams? See, today, remember the first step is always the hardest. Once you take that first step, the others become better, they become easier. A lot of us ran away from starting a course because we thought, man, it's going to take 4 years of my life. Those 4 years are still going to arrive anyway. A lot of us never finished school because we thought it takes too long. We didn't want to go and learn a trade skill because it's going to take too long compared to what? Because that life is still going to come. Those 10 years are still going to come. Those 7 years are still going to come. What steps are you taking today towards the life of your dreams? Because the PLA is moving, your years are moving, your life progress must move in tandem with the years. Are you actually progressing in life, or you are repeating the same year again and again and again? Next point, number 3. Yes. Build on what your parents gave you. Don't rest on it. You see, a lot of us, again, it's our mindset. Just wait for the book on mindsets that have killed the world. We've got a mindset that says you spend an inheritance, and so whatever we've received from our parents, we have a mentality of spending and not investing. So as a result, we never build, because subconsciously, whatever I'm given, I spend, because we even say the land is our inheritance from our forefathers. That's a terrible mindset. The land is not our inheritance. Why? Because the land, we've not inherited it, we've borrowed it from our children. So the moment I understand that I have borrowed the land from my children and not just inherited it from my forefathers, I know I am a steward. So we've got to build on what our parents gave us. My parents gave me a decent education. It was a start. It was all they could give me, no trust fund, no cent, nothing else. But now I've got to build on that foundation and hand over something better to my children. I've got to build and leave my kids with some trust funds and leave them with some investments and help them walk into some of the platforms that my parents never gave me. It's important, build on what your parents gave you. Don't sit on it, don't destroy it. If you just hand over what your parents gave you, it's almost like your life has meant nothing. You were just a placeholder. You did not add value. Number 3, leverage on the power of focus. You see, focus is an amazing thing because if I take a magnifying glass and I focus, I can burn my skin out. And then I focus it further, I can burn through paper. Then I focus it further, I can burn through steel, it becomes a laser. There's a lot we can do if we did not become people who are everywhere, but only in one or two things. So forward momentum has a lot to do with what you can let go of so that you can focus on what you need to focus
on. Okay. It's getting hot in here.
It's very critical. It's very critical because what we lack is the art of letting go. A lot of us are in everything. Today I'm doing masks, tomorrow I'm doing sanitizers, the next day I'm doing shoes, the next day I'm doing this, the next day. And so we become good at thriving in crisis. Now, when there is no order, we start being corrupt because we don't know how to handle order. We are so primed for crisis that when there is no crisis, we stress. Why? Because we don't understand the power of focus.
Now, does it matter, Dr. T?
Yes,
when I'm on this path, on this momentum, does it matter now also the company that I keep? Because part of my delay has been the company that I keep. You know, Freddie makes me watch TV, we watch football every day. You know, a significant other makes me watch Jola 99. The company that I keep.
Right. The point is get quality people into your life. I call it a modeling of excellence. Get a good mentor because mentorship is wisdom without the pain. That's what a mentor does. A mentor gives you the wisdom without you having to go through the pain of learning by yourself and getting your fingers burnt. So your mentor decides your wisdom because a mentor brings wisdom. And then your wisdom decides the friends and the relationships you keep and protect. And the relationships you keep and protect decide the depth you get into life. So it's important to get quality people in your life. Model excellence. Look at the things you'd like to do. Find people who have been successful in doing that and sit at their feet and learn so that you get the wisdom without the pain. Last one,
Dr. T. Last
right,
one.
Right. Just for the time. In terms of momentum, know your dopamine spots. Know where you release dopamine, which means understand your strengths, understand your passions, and put your energy there. I know a lot of people say, no, I want to do the most difficult things so that I can show that I'm big. No, it will weigh you down. Choose what you are good at. Run your race, because if you can combine passion, right? If you can combine passion with income, you will be the happiest person. So find passion, your area of passion, put some skill in there, create a value proposition, and you will be the happiest person ever. Even on a bad day, you will wake up with serious momentum.
Wow, Dr. T. Wow,
yes,
that's
sir.
Powerful 30 minutes of content right there. Now, normally I, would ask you to show your book, but we decided, this Freddie guy is a smart guy. So we put it on the screen. As we speak, people can see the book, The Winning Mindset. And I'd like to call on you guys to go get this book. Dr. T can only give you so much here, but he's got much more packed in the book. Get the Winning Mindset. Just go to the website, www.Thando Sibanda. Am I right, Dr. T? .com.
Yes. .com. Yes.
.com.
The other thing, Rams, that people can do, Yes. The other things that people can do, they can send you an email and buy it through you. If they buy through you, we will give it to them at 50% off. Let them
Guys, did you hear
connect
that?
with you and send you a message. Right. If they buy it through you, they will get it at 50% off.
Guys, just send us an email, admin@talkwithrams.com. Admin@talkwithrams.com. Order the book, Winning Mindset by Dr. Thando Sibanda. You're going to get it at 50%. It's a limited offer. He did not say that. I am saying that it's a limited offer. If you don't move soon, it's gone,
Right.
completely gone. Dr. T, a very good friend of this show, the Global Business Connector, asked a very important question, and I want us to focus on it next week or some other time when we get a chance.
Right.
What is the difference between a mentor and a coach? I like that because I get that a lot and I want us to talk about it. People do confuse it. People come to you when they're looking for one or the other. So thank you very much for that, my brother. We will focus on it when Dr. T comes back some other time. It does not have to be next week, but we will do it. Thank you so much, Dr. T. It's been powerful.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great stuff.
Appreciate it.
You will see the comments. People love what you've been doing. So folks, that's it. Motivation Monday. Now I hope you start right now to start that momentum and stop repeating your same, not very harsh. Don't repeat a bad life forever. Start changing a few things in your life and see the progress. Tomorrow it's Opportunity Tuesday and you're gonna love it. That's where I'm gonna leave it. Thank you very much, Fred. It's been a great show. Sorry for the glitches earlier when we started, folks, but we now know that we finished well. From me, Rams Mabote, good night and God bless.